Welcome to Unhappy Teacher, the podcast where we rethink education and uncover life's lessons that truly shape who we are. Today, I have a wonderful guest with me, Miss Princess Elemba in the house. Princess is a powerhouse producer and CEO of Beyond Castings and Productions, shaping the landscape of television, film, and media. With over 12 years of experience, she has produced hit shows like Assets Over Liabilities on Revolt and commercials for brands such as Target, Toyota, Microsoft, and much more. Her expertise spans casting, production, and post-production, earning her recognition in Essence and Vibe magazine. She recently launched a production roadmap, empowering the next generation of entertainment professionals. Rooted in a strong Nigerian heritage, Princess's journey began as a dancer before evolving into a top-tier producer. She has worked with major networks like BET, AMC, and Peacock, and played a pivotal role in Ebony Media's 50th year of hip-hop covers. A trailblazer in the industry, she continues to break barriers, champion inclusivity, and create opportunities for aspiring talent while embracing her new chapter as a wife and future mommy. Welcome again, Miss Princess Elemba.
Hey.
I'm so happy to have you here with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. Where we're going to go with this? There's like so many things we can talk about, but I just want to say that you already know you exude strength.
Thank you.
You know, wonderful knowledge and wisdom that you have of not just yourself, but an industry that, you know, you didn't grow up to be in. And so, like, where do you get this from? Where do you get this multifaceted you from?
Well, I always attribute this to my parents. Yes, we have strong Nigerian heritage. That's where we're from. And I think that just culture just puts a lot on you, where you want to have this strive for excellence. You want to make sure that you don't bring shame to your family name.
So that's true what they say.
Oh,
about
very
Nigerian
much,
culture,
very
100%.
much, honey. So I think that's one thing. But then also, my parents were entrepreneurs, so I got to see them in diverse and unique settings and how they still excelled, and they were able to use, I guess, every skill set they learned in each field that they were in to apply it into their entrepreneurship journey. And so I think, and then my dad was a professor. It's a lot. So I got to see a lot growing up. So I always say, like, the way that I am now is literally because of who birthed me. My parents are literally the source outside of God.
Yes. So growing up, you know, again, you were naturally placed into this environment where you had, you know, entrepreneurs, parents who were not going to settle for anything less. So what are some profound, if you could think of like some profound moments as a child growing up, maybe seeing your dad or your mom, anything that sticks out to you that's like, wow, like they did that, or maybe it was impactful for you?
So the biggest thing was, growing up, my parents brought a lot of people over to the States from Nigeria. So I think my dad told me recently while he was here, it was over 70 families that they brought over. So growing up and seeing how impactful my parents were, and helping people make decisions that were life-changing, and doing that give back, not just them going to the States, but them reaching back to give someone else a chance to have this opportunity to live in this space, and then not just bringing them there, but they're living with us, you know, and we're teaching them. You know, my parents are like having English classes every Sunday after church, you know, and they're, you know, doing their documents, they're making sure they're enrolled in school. So for me, it was like seeing that give back and not wanting or needing anything in return. I think that was the most impactful moments for me, of just like, each one teach one and always give back without expecting anything in return. And so that's kind of how I live my life. It's like, I always want to be a nurturer. I always want to be a giver, a helper, and just like the attitude of servitude. So those are like the impactful moments. I many of my cousins lived in my house, you know, and it just is what it is. Like, and to this day, they are successful lawyers and doctors and engineers and accountants, and you know, just being able to see like where they were to where they are, that champion story, that underdog story, that really shapes me completely. Like,
wow. And just, you know, knowing you know, a little bit, you are that I'm giving back. If I know something you're going to know it. I
Yes.
want you to know. I want you to do better. You're like, if you part of my circle, we got to be doing better. You
Yes.
got to know something. And so, that just clearly is a spirit instilled in you from your parents.
Yes.
You grew up in such an amazing household where, they were bringing in people. You say you don't have so many aunts and cousins living with you, right?
It was different. I don't know if I appreciated it at the time, but
now looking back, you're like,
yeah.
okay, I see what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were both of your parents professors or in
no,
education?
just my father. He was a professor, psychology,
Okay.
and then my mother was strictly an entrepreneur. Yeah, she has her doctorate, but I always forget what it's in.
Yeah.
But
well, look, that mom went and gone and got the doctorate.
Yeah, my dad is a doctorate as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
highly educated.
So yeah, but my dad was. I know he was a professor, but he wasn't practicing when I was like of age to know what my parents did. But the way that he raised us, I always knew that he was an educator. Like. We had school. We had Sunday school all the time. And it wasn't just about church. It
was about life, everything.
Life.
You're going to get this lesson.
Definitely.
And that's pretty much, what this podcast is about. I wanted to rebrand it so it's not just strictly talking about, the woos and pain points of teachers, but, to also talk about life's lessons. Yes, I'm an educator. I'm not in the classroom anymore. But I feel that, our biggest lessons are also learned outside of the classroom.
Yes.
So, as a child growing up, did you know what you wanted to be, or did you kind of go through a lot of different paths?
I definitely did not know that I would be a TV and film producer. I definitely did not know that I was going to be a background dancer, professional dancer. My path, I think I saw my uncle, he had created a software for taxes. He was an accountant. And I knew that I liked numbers, and I knew that, okay, maybe this is a space. Okay. But for the most part, no, I didn't know. I just know I liked numbers. That was it. And I knew that I was creative. I love to dance, but I didn't know what I would be. And then we're Nigerian, so you're thinking you're supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer,
right,
or an engineer. So I thought that was going to be somewhere, but I didn't like history. I did not like social studies. I did not like science. And so, those things were out the window for me. So I was like, I don't know what I'm about to be at all. So no, it wasn't like I knew from childhood like where I would be or what I would be doing at all.
So how did you start out? What was your first career, I would say? Because, in life we sometimes have many different careers.
The crazy thing is my first job was with the Janetta B. Cole Institute in Greensboro, North Carolina. We were at Bennett College, and I was a mentor for and essentially a camp counselor for children, for girls. It was a summer camp for girls 14 to 17 years of age, and I was a freshman in college and literally 18, 19 teaching these girls, and they were asking me my age. But that was my first official job. And then I was working at Target, and then I went into corporate America, and I started working for American Express, and I was a fraud analyst there. And that was majority of the time. But I did retail, so I was at Target and I was at Dillard's.
See, look at this many different jobs.
Yes, I had a bunch of different, I started late with the job. I feel like I started late because I got my first job freshman in college. Most people were kind of working a little bit.
Yeah, around 16,
yeah,
17.
Summer jobs or stuff.
But they're summer jobs.
Yeah.
They're summer jobs.
So I thought that I just got my first, the summer going into my sophomore year was my first job. Yeah. So I thought I was late, but then I just kept getting jobs, and I was like, and then my other job throughout college was also, I was also a after school teacher, tutor at some after school program in Greensboro as well. So I felt, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've never said this out loud, I'm like, dang, I was always trying to teach somebody something
in some way. But if you think about just life and how it naturally unfolds, you were put in, you think I'm just getting a job, but it's if you just look at back then, okay, I'm being a mentor, I'm doing this little teaching here, I'm doing it. And then now where you are today, it's naturally innate in you for you to be on this path. So how did you become a producer? What in the world just happened? One day I'm a producer.
I'm going to try to shorten this story, but But so I started off as a professional dancer. I don't
Mhm.
like to say background dancer because we're not in the background, but I was a professional dancer and I toured around the world. I absolutely loved it. I did that for some time. And along the way, I was meeting so many amazing people that worked in unique spaces, you know, whether it's the stage manager, the lighting operator, the lighting operator,
Mhm.
um, the makeup and hair, the wardrobe, the tour managers. And so I was just getting this, like, essentially building my Rolodex of people and my network of
Mhm.
people, but it was just because I was intrigued by what they
You
did.
just
And
wanted to know how everything worked.
yeah, like the functionalities of it. Like, you're the
Yeah.
tour manager. How did you route this tour?
Mhm.
Because why are we here and then there? And then how do we get on this bus? And why are we on this plane? Like, I just wanted to know,
No.
you know, how did you advance this stuff? Is this, you know, I would look at our contracts like, okay, we're supposed to have this in there. Is it not? Like, I just was inquisitive, but I
Mhm.
also was like, just liking to connect with people. And so I did the dancing for a while. Then when I was on set, I would see the AD because I'm working directly with them as I'm talent. So they're, you know, calling me before, prepping me on stuff that we need to
Yeah.
do. I'm looking at these call sheets and I'm like, dang, this is pretty unique, you know. So anyways, fast forward, I was doing a lot of things with up and coming artists. I was doing artist development. I was doing creative direction. I was doing choreography. And a couple of those artists just kind of felt comfortable with me.
Mhm.
And so they would ask me for help in other aspects. And so I would say, okay, no problem. I know a person, you know, I know
Yeah.
a guy. So I was really middle manning a lot of things and helping with the management and flow of certain things. And it just was natural for me to do. And so my transition went from um, dancing on stage or on set to then now helping with logistics and
Yeah.
operations and connecting people. And so I started my company Beyond the Steps, which was more of a resource to
Okay.
the creative to, like, basically bridge that gap.
Yes.
And I always say I turned dreamers into doers. So anyone that was an art, a talent, you know, I would help you apply the steps and get you the resources and the knowledge in order to become a doer. It's no longer a
Yes.
dream. You just need X, Y, and Z to get it done. And now you're this person. You're this singer. You're this dancer. You're this model. You're actually actively working. And so
And that
fast
was
forward.
brilliant, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Thank
Like
you.
that was actually how I was introduced to you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, former dancer,
Yeah.
had my dance studio, and so always just putting it out there. I'm like, okay. I think I may have saw you host a few things
Mm-hmm.
at the
Yep.
time. Like you weren't dancing, but I remember Beyond the Steps
Yes.
when that came out. I was like, oh man, she's teaching people something. They should
Yeah.
teach them how to get together, the headshots, the
Yep.
classes. I remember those
Yeah.
things happening, and I was like, this is brilliant. Who
Thank
is this
you.
young lady? I
Thank
didn't know
you.
you personally, but I was like,
Yeah.
this is brilliant.
Yeah.
This is really brilliant. And it was needed for the
Yeah.
community, because
Thank
we had
you.
so many young people out here just wanting the dream, but not really having the resources and
Yeah,
knowing
or
how to
knowing
go.
how to go about it. Yeah, like, I got that message all the time. Like, I don't know how to start, you know,
Yeah.
or if they were in it, they didn't know, like, how to manage their money, how to do their taxes, how to have health insurance. So we had, like, those clinics where it's
Yeah.
like, I got someone that's going to be at this space from 12 to 8 doing taxes. Go. I got this person that's going to sign you up for Obamacare or whatever. What was it at the time? You know, go over
Yeah.
there and sign up for your health care. Like, you want to learn about retirement. Like, I was doing so much just because I wanted to help. But yeah, so I started that company. I was doing that. And I will say, like, knowledge is not always something that people want to purchase. They want to just be given it. So, like, playing the middleman and that, it was only for, like, I think it was before its time. And I think it was, I just had to be okay with just getting the right people. And so the right people that did come and I helped, I wanted to help them even further. Like, okay, I got this package for you. I got everything together. I gave you your plan of action. You're executing, but I want you to work. So I started Beyond Castings,
Yes.
which turned into Beyond Castings and Productions. But I started Beyond Castings because it was really my job placement program. Like, for me, I've always wanted to have the College of Entertainment for commercial work. So I was
Put
building
that out there.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
that's coming.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And so, so I was like, okay, they need job placement. That's what it is. After you've trained someone, you've given them some real life skills, you've given them the tools they need. Now let's get them working, because I don't want them just paying for this service that I'm providing and not being able to make money off of it. So I started, trying to find avenues to get them on camera. Like, okay, I can cast music videos. At least I can help my dancers and my models. You know, oh, now I'm getting into TV. Let me get some, you know, a commercial that has one speaking line. Maybe I can cast an actor. And as I was getting on those sets, and I still was working with my artist development side, I had those artists that were still asking me for help. And I was like, okay. And I remember helping one client who had just got their first record deal. I think it was either with QC or Flowrider. I can't remember. It was either a quality controller or Flowrider. And they got their first advance to do a music video. And they called me and I'm like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff for you, whatever you, they told me the creative, and it was so out of this world for what the budget they had. And so they wanted like a horse, and they wanted like a floating bed, and they wanted like feathers and dust flowing up and multiple dancers in different locations. And I was like, okay, no problem, we'll work it out. So I had like resources that I can call, because I knew like, okay, yeah, I know I can get a bed, I know I can get a horse, I know I can get dancers, I know I can get this. Oh, my friend's already your choreographer, this is perfect. And so I was able to do it. So the director at the time came in to the set and was like, who did this? Like, who got this location? This is dope. Who got this? And everybody kept saying, Princess, Princess, Princess. And so he came up to me, he was like, what you do? And I was like, oh, nothing, I'm just a consultant, I'm just here helping. And he was like, no, you're a producer. And I was like,
well, I guess I am.
I guess so. Let me go look this up. What is a producer? And so I looked it up and did all my research and was like, oh yeah, like literally that's what I am. I'm managing people, time, and money. I did her budget. I did the logistics. I got everyone here. Yeah, like that's what producers really do. Like, you know, if we want to make it plain and simple. And I started just researching it and started claiming it. And I was like, I am a producer. That is what I do. So I started introducing myself as such, and it just went from there.
Now, was it easy? Did you find it easy to claim that and start introducing yourself as that? Or did you kind of feel like a little bit like, should I really be calling myself that? Or did you ever have that, they call it the imposter syndrome?
I did not. There was a level of confidence, and I think it comes from knowledge. Like for me, I'm usually not as scared when I'm knowledgeable about what I'm speaking of or what I'm going into, whether it's like a friend inviting you out. If I know who's there, what time, what the feel is, I can put on whatever outfit. It's like, I'm going to go in there confidently. I know, oh, I know these people, or I need to know these people. Oh, the ambiance of the restaurant is this. Oh, I got the perfect outfit. You're going to come in there with confidence because you're knowledgeable of what you're getting yourself into. And because I did such intense research about being a producer before I claimed that name, I was confident in saying it, that yeah, I am a producer. Like, and then also I'm very transparent. So for me, it's like I'm a producer, but I just started. So I'm only in this space right now. I do want to move to this space, but there's time. I understood that there was a path that, you know, I needed to carve out, or I needed to try to figure out where I was going. But it wasn't hard for me to claim producer, because I knew exactly what I was doing. Like
that confidence.
Yeah, I had that confidence to say, no, I know how to put some stuff together.
Yeah.
I may not know the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna learn it, but I know that I can produce something.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you just think about, you know, we have a lot of people that go to school for these things. They go to school for it, they have aspirations of doing it, and then it's something that came to you naturally, and then you realize, I just had to put a title to it. Is there anything that you would say like kind of prepared you, like if we talk about school in traditional sense, okay, we know you didn't go to school for production, but is there anything that you think may have prepared you or given you the skills for the roles that you're able to do now?
Is there anything that could have prepared me in school?
Or have, like, you know, any courses, like any background information, it's like, or it could be, no, you're like, no, not at all. This is all straight, like, just get in, figure it out, and I figured it out.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, my background in accounting helped when it comes to, like, line producing, because what we're doing is budgets for the most part. Like, we start off in that. That's why we're going line by line. So that and that end of it, like just my understanding of numbers, that was one thing. And then my degree is in business studies with a focus on marketing and entrepreneurship. So I guess I'm working in advertising in a sense with the commercial side. So there probably was some courses in there that may have helped.
Yeah.
But
No, life.
You know, life really is the one that teaches you, you know, how to talk to people, how to manage people, your time management skills, your, you know, your budget allocation, like all of that is really more so life. But I would say if there's anything, it may have been some accounting courses, you know, learning debits and credits and assets over liabilities and stuff. But for the most part, not as much. Especially because I actually didn't go to film school either. But I also have a lot of people who went to film school and they work on my sets.
You actually spoke at film school, right?
I did
at a college.
Yes, I spoke at one of graduations, and yeah, I'm not gonna say too much, but I've been around a lot of people who, a lot of my PAs came out of film school, you know, and they get on my set and they don't know what they're doing, and they're like, this is totally different than what we learned in the classroom, you know. And so I will say, like, from speaking with them, speaking with the graduating class that year, I don't know if this is really taught the way that it needs to be taught.
Right. And it's like, I wonder, like, where is the disconnect? Because, I mean, you go to school, you know, you're set up, and I understand this is why some people have a problem with college now, you know, but it's like we trust them to give us all the tools we need. And you leave there with the basic stuff, you know, to get you a job, or, you know, looks good on paper, but then, like you say, you've had experience where people come to a set and you're like, you don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. And so it's like, why is it? Is industry standards not being practiced in those schools, or is it more just all kind of theory based instead of practical? Like,
I don't honestly don't know what it is. But I think all across the board, not even just in film, for school in general, the biggest things that I learned in school was the network.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you take advantage of, like, knowing the people around you and learning from the people, the different ethnicities, the different backgrounds, hearing their stories, I think that that's the best takeaway for college. But when we're talking about just even middle school, high school, those things that we learned, I think that it's not, they don't include, like, life skills, which I think should be. The biggest thing that I learned in school was from my counselors, like Mrs. Stroud, God rest her, you know, rest in peace. Like, she was one of my biggest takeaways from school, like in high school. Like, if I didn't get to talk to her about what I was going through and, you know, really get some insight on life, then, you know, for me, school was just school. You get your grade. And I mean, I was an AB student, like, you know, graduated with honors, went to school with academic scholarship. That's great. But did those things really teach me or propel me for life? Not necessarily. And I wish they would incorporate more things. Like, my best friend is a school teacher. She's been in the system for over 10 years now. Yeah, over 10 years now. And even with her, she tries to find ways to incorporate life skills. So, like, she's a Spanish teacher, but she will, like, to teach numbers or something, she may show them a credit card statement.
Hello, right? I think that's important.
And luckily she's at a charter school, so she's able to do certain things, you know? So she's like that type, like, well, let me just teach them in this way. And I think it's phenomenal. And I wish we were able to get that kind of, you know, teaching style. And it can be incorporated. People could do these things, but they just don't. I wish it was more situation based. I wish that, you know, because there's certain things that we may have never seen in school, but we're dealing with it now. It's like, we're talking about math. Let's talk about mortgages. Let's talk about interest rates. When we're learning percentages, let's learn it in those terms. Like,
why don't we know about a mortgage rate, or mortgage, until we're, you know, in life and trying to buy a house? Now it's like, what? Why do I have to wait now to hear these things and learn these things? And so I definitely agree with you. You know, which is part of why, you know, just my transition in life was like, I can no longer kind of teach to the system, because I do believe there's more out there. You know, I'm definitely a part of the hands-on approach. Like, you know, I do believe in foundations, you know, believe in that, but it's like, I don't believe we're really setting up these kids to be successful in the future. And now with technology out our hands, innovation, even AI.
Yeah.
People are looking for different routes of education, and everything not always. I would say accredited or certified. It'll be great if we can get some more accredited schools, like your college that is coming up. I feel it in a few years. I don't know, but yes, I feel that coming up, and when it comes, I'm probably going to be like the dean.
Yeah.
We're just manifesting right here, right now. But to say all that, you have started just a project, a program, the production roadmap, where you're doing just that. You're taking what you know, and you're like, hey, I'm putting it out there for you to learn now. So you have your own teaching program.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
So the production roadmap, my new baby. Honestly, once again, I've always wanted to have the College of Entertainment for commercial work. And what I notice in every realm of entertainment, whether I am the talent or I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera, I always notice that there's a lack of education, but a thirst for knowledge.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who want to know how to get in there, but there's also a lot of people who are in there and want to know how to have what's the word I'm looking for? Longevity, right? And so there's no one that's helping or preparing you for that. So I wanted to just do something where even if, and this is the part that I may have had imposter syndrome, because in doing this, I know I'm not, Ava DuVernay. I know that I'm not Issa Rae. I know I'm not, all these bigger name producers that are doing these bigger shows. But I know that there's some knowledge I have that I can provide, and there's a network of people that can help. So the production roadmap is just a resource. It's just that I have an internship and a mentorship program. We do seminars and lectures, and then we're coming out with an ebook and an e-course to really help people learn production, whether you want to be a producer, which is our main focus, or if you just want to be a filmmaker who learns production in totality. We want to get you your start, but then elevate your mind to think about the business and to think about the things the tools that you need on set, as well as from development all the way to distribution. So we're just I just wanted to teach people without them having to go to film school, because I didn't go to film school. With having people just wanting to get in the industry, not knowing where to start. Get the e-course, get the ebook, get into my mentorship program, find those avenues where you don't have to spend thousands of dollars doing it, and then still have to spend, whatever else to learn the stuff that you didn't learn, the right way. So, hands-on skills, hands-on training as well, and opportunities for you to be on set, so that's what it is. And I just felt like it was very much needed, and I didn't have it, and so I want to provide it to other people.
Right. So I know, this is your new baby. I know you started your internship, mentorship courses. What is some of the biggest outcomes or takeaways you've seen so far from starting this program?
Confidence. A lot of people are getting confidence, and that means that they're getting knowledge and they're gaining knowledge. I've had a lot of people that have now started to film their own projects. We have a couple of people who have been in film festivals now, and we just birthed this thing last April.
Look at that.
Yeah, so we've had people in film festivals creating their own short films. We've had people work on set with amazing brands and amazing artists and actors. We're creating some amazing superstars. They're really, really good filmmakers, creative directors, producers. We have them shadowing different people in the industry. It's been just amazing, to see their growth in such a short amount of time. And when I say we started in April, that was our summer series workshops that was open to the public. Anybody can come in. But our mentorship program and internship program didn't start until November. And they've been in it for about two and a half months now, and still seeing their growth. it's been tremendous. And just connecting them with people. They're working with everyone, people that they thought would take them, 3 to 5 years to getting in the industry to even have a conversation, let alone like having their direct phone number or getting a paycheck from them, so I think we're doing an amazing job.
I think so too. Like, let me just say, I got a chance to like sit in one of the sessions, and I was blown away. I was blown away. I was like, what? This is what you're learning in here?
Thank you.
I mean, I really was. And I went in just kind of like, with nothing. I was like, okay, let me go in and support, But I was completely like, what? This is what y'all been doing and working on each week? I was just so proud of what you birthed, what you're putting out there, what you're sharing. And that imposter syndrome is going to sink. It's going to go away because you have confidence, you know who you are, you have that self-knowledge, and you have support. You have so many people that want to support you. And take it, embrace it, and speak life over this because it's growing. It's growing, and it's going somewhere. And it's probably going to go beyond what you think. God always has his plan, right? Always. It's better than what we want.
Yes.
Better than what we have in mind. And so I just want to tell you that I'm very, very proud of you. Very proud of you. Very proud of where you're going and what you're doing. And if you can just share, with our viewers, like your greatest life lessons, just from, your humble beginnings, with your parents to where you are right now. What is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned that you would like to share?
That's hard.
I know, because we're always learning. We always learning.
Well, I'll give you one of my quotes that I always say, and it's by me. I say it to myself all the time as a daily reminder. But it's never compete or compare. Always congratulate and continue to do what God has called you to do. So I say that because I don't want anyone to compete or compare themselves with anyone else. Like, what God has for you is ordained for you. It's for you. The path is already written out. Like, you don't have to, just do you. I promise you, and God will take care of the rest. So congratulate everyone along the ways, because everyone has different seasons. Everyone has different moments. And honestly, when you're connected with people that are winning, yours is coming too. So like I always say, just never compete, never compare, only congratulate and do what God has called you to do.
Amen. I love that. I felt like that was a word for me, girl. I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, please share with our viewers like how they can learn more about you and get in, contact with you and learn more about the production roadmap.
Yes.
You got some people out there ready to sign up.
Yes. Okay. So you can follow me on social media. It's princess.elemba is my personal page, or the production roadmap, or Beyond Castings Productions on Instagram. Also, our email is info@beyondcastingsproductions.com or theproductionroadmap@gmail.com. So shoot us an email, follow us on socials. But our ebook and our e-courses are coming out, and we're going on our summer tour for the production roadmap. So just be on the lookout for that. But that's it.
Thank you. And all that is going to be in the show notes. So if you miss any of that, it's okay. Just go ahead, look in the description, and you'll see all of that. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us how you enjoyed, and share. Share with someone else who you think can benefit from this. Again, thank you so much, Princess, for being here. And this is Unhappy Teacher Podcast. We're out.